Hey everybody, Mike Shea, Transworld Business Advisors here in Lakeland, Florida, covering everything from Orlando all the way to Tampa and the parts in between. So, keeping with a series on how you value certain types of businesses, I wanted to spend some time talking about a really popular business that flies under the radar for a lot of people, and that's pet grooming. So, during COVID, the grooming business, everyone kind of scrambled. And one of the discoveries was that pets are considered part of a family. We also saw more people on a per capita basis going out and getting pets because they were locked up and it was a therapy thing and needed something to spend time with at home. Uh, Unintended consequence was that they discovered, these dogs and cats and whatever you might have, parrots, etc., had to be groomed, cleaned, and taken care of. So figured we'd review some pet grooming businesses. Now in Central Florida and in Florida specifically, there's no licensing required. You really do need to go to a school or work as an apprentice under a groomer for a little while to learn the business. But let's go through the KPIs. So the profit on these things run 20 to 30%. And when you look at this chart, you'll see, in red, wages and rent. So the wages and rent is important factors relative to how much profit a non-working owner can make. Most of the smaller groomers, and if you look at the chart on the bottom, most small groomers are under $250,000. Usually that's 3 chairs, 5 days a week, and the owner is doing some grooming in there. And then those salons, usually people are, frankly, in most salons for dog grooming, the techs are paid percentages and they're paid 50 to 60%. A good tech can make, 50, 60, $75,000 a year. The mix of animals, and obviously larger animals cost more. Teeth cleaning, ear cleaning, the add-on services are important. You want to make sure you're in the right demographic, but realize that your fixed overhead can be a variable. You used to see pet grooming salons in retail locations. I think that's less of an issue. And as retail locations get more and more expensive, you're going to see more and more groomers moving to flex space, where they can put in, some sheetrock roofing and some space air conditioning units and achieve the outcome they want. Revenue per tech can run as high as $100,000 to $150,000 a year. Techs are paid very, very well, as I just mentioned, and you'll find that the customers in this business are very, very sticky, very similar to how people, particularly females or women, are attached to their hairstylists. They tend not to bounce around from stylist to stylist. COVID, we saw a boom in mobile grooming. A function a lot of these drop-off locations were for dogs. Those retail locations really struggled during that period of time. If it hadn't been for PPP, you would have seen a bunch of these things disappear. Some trends we're seeing is pairing and adding on of dog foods, natural products that aren't available in the big box stores, hard to find type natural foods. Did one up in Claremont that was the sole distributor for some natural foods, and the owners of the animals really wanted to make sure their dog was fed well because they are very, very attached to them. So they're buying natural product, not Alpo off the shelf at the local Publix. So we are seeing some retail. You will get toys, treats, things like that usually happen at a grooming salon. And just like in a convenience store, very high markup, very high margin. You'll see a variety of licensing to no licensing. Again, in Florida, there is no licensing, but I would tell you, you got to make sure you know what you're doing. You can easily cut an animal, and cats in particular, I've discovered, are highly dangerous. And also, you have to be a really, really skilled person to do a cat. So if you get groomers who are skilled at cat cleaning and cat grooming, you can make a whole lot more money. You have to have the safety precautions and the equipment to do that. In terms of buying these things, we generally see 60 to 80% down on the asking price. And owner financing is very common because they fall below the target at which people will traditionally go out and get banking. When you go to the chart at the bottom, you'll see that the average cash flow runs around $70 to $80,000 on $236 to $180,000 in sales. Again, the variable will always be the rent. So the lower the rent, the more you're going to put in your pocket. So that is what these things are worth. When you get up over 100,000, you can see 200 and a two multiple to a 2.3 multiple pretty regularly. A mobile grooming business, I've seen them go for as much as a 3 to a 4 multiple. They are ridiculously profitable. A groom for a mobile groomer is 150 to $180 a session, and with no fixed overhead, super profitable. Any questions? Give me a call. 321-287-0349. That's 321-287-0349. Or visit my website and email me. The website is www.yourfloridabusinessbroker.com.